of the brain is when it sees something like something peaceful, like a bed of flowers, or somebody in stress or struggle, someone in a car accident, all these different things. They would show a war. So we're getting the feedback from the brain. What does the brain respond to? What does it look like on the computer? By accident, they discovered something amazing. That after a while, the brain started detecting what the next image would be before it showed up on the screen, up to 7 seconds in advance.
How's that possible?
Well, these images were being shown 10 seconds apart to give the brain time to reset. And they started noticing this trend. They were like, wait a minute. The brain is picking up what the next image is up to 7 seconds in advance.
They say 7 seconds is all you need to determine whether you want to mess with somebody or not. So what are the things in your eyes and your mind that you've seen growing up that give you this 7-second advancement to your traumas, your fears, and your greatness and joys? Today, we're going into the shadow work, the spiritual expert. You heard this manifesto, you've seen them online, but this is the Lewis Howes podcast. And we're going to go ahead and react to this right now through this intensified conversation they're having about the universe and how these things work and how your mind magnifies. Here we go.
So we're not even in real time. There's something going on that we don't understand that's already happened before we catch up to that exact moment. And then there's another delay behind that, because now a photon has to ping off of you and go to my retina and get processed by my brain so I can figure out what you look like and what you just said. So that's even another delay.
You know what's interesting about that? What's coming up for me right now.
That's real powerful, guys. I don't think you understand what this guy is saying, that our eyes and our retinas and the light has to project and form, and the speed of light and all these things have to happen for us to be even seen, for the words to even process. There's another level of communication that we cannot even quantify because the speed of what things are happening as we interact and communicate with each other. This is super important because it lets you know there's more to it than you think. And there's a frequency, there's an algorithm. If you really listen, you can probably tap into, more than likely develop yourself. Well, let's see what Lewis Howes has to say about that.
Now is sports, playing sports. And there's a great, gosh, what's the quote? I think it's Gretzky. Maybe it was like, I'm always where the puck is going to be or something like that, you know? Yeah. When I was playing basketball or football, I was never the best athlete on the field, but I always had a sense, like a feeling of like, it's going to be there in that space at this time. Yeah. Let me go there. It's almost like I could predict where the ball was going to be thrown.
That's exactly where I was going with my conversation.
Where I needed to pass the ball for the person to get in that space in the next 3 seconds. And I developed that through sports. And I could always see kind of the future in sports, and that skill set of the vision of time and space allowed me to be better in sports.
Some of us are gifted. Some of us are seers. Some of us have vision. I'm not going to say everybody has this, but I will say that this is an overall development that we need to work together in order to have the full culmination. I think the reason why we haven't achieved this state of nirvana, this state of light, is because we're so scattered. I believe we're just a bunch of cells on this planet, and we're one huge cell of operating organism that if we work together, we can find this last thread of light and actually get the right calculations of life and the right timing. When you talk about sports, if anybody plays sports, you can foresee and dictate certain things. But when you're in that vibe, when you're in your purpose, when you sink into a video game, when you sink into different things and your eyes are now in your mind, and when people take Adderall, when they slow the world down, and I don't suggest you do that ever. However, these are the things that focus you into a different realm. When people go and do different mushrooms and things that I heard that puts them in a different state of mind and thinking, this is what takes you over the top. Not doing the actual activity of the narcotic, but there is a plane there that there's operating that we can get to. But I think we get to through vision and working together. And that's what I think these guys are alluding to. But I want to hear more of this conversation.
Exactly.
And the same thing with business. It's probably the same thing with your business as well. I see this trend happening. The world is moving into this place. I'm going to be there as well.
Got to be there. Let me actualize rendezvous.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
That's
exactly what makes a great athlete. What makes Michael Jordan better than most of the other athletes? They're practicing just as hard as most of them. I mean, he partied all night long and everything else, right? I mean, he worked out too. Don't get me wrong. He trained, but man, did this guy And people are like, man, I'm working twice as hard as Michael Jordan, but I'm not Michael Jordan. Why is that? And how can he get on the court and just slice and dice through the whole team like they don't even exist? Because his 7 seconds were probably more like 2.5 to 3 seconds. So like you said, he was closer to real time. And I think the elite athletes and elite businessmen and elite thinkers are closer to real time, where they're surfing on the wave, right? Everyone else waiting for the wave to crash over them.
Wow. Do you guys ever thought about this that deep? That there is a 7-second difference on how we process things. That's why people are faster, stronger, and think faster than you think. I don't know how you increase that. I challenge you. I challenge you today to go and research how to increase your brain and how to be faster at what you do. Now that you know there's an opportunity, you could probably get there. Not everybody's Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. Any night they can form like Mike Tyson. Not everybody's those things inside of our world. However, you can advance yourself to be a high level performer like a Kobe Bryant. For sure, rest in peace to Kobe. We're moving forward into this world where you can advance yourself to be better and actually stand out. And I want to talk about another side of this real quick. Sometimes when you see things coming and sometimes you are the visionary, it hurts a little because sometimes people don't believe you. Sometimes there's nothing you can do to stop it. Sometimes you want your people to be more aware. Sometimes there's too much nuance, there's too much escapism going on, and it becomes a lonely place. It becomes a lonely place to be efficient sometimes. But I'm gonna tell you, don't let that efficiency go. Being your best is always the best thing to be. Just be your best and forget the rest. Absolutely. Let's get back into it.
So when you wait for the wave to crash over you, go, oh, I'm in this moment now. But instead of surfing on top of the wave, being closer to the real time that actually does exist, it makes you look godlike. When Michael Jordan is on the court, people slow down. Time, he says, slows down. He's just weaving through these people like they don't even exist. But they're moving as fast as they possibly can. But he's on another level here, right? He's in that zone. That's what that zone is.
The zone.
That flow, getting closer to real time. They were on 7 seconds. I'm going to get on 3 seconds. I'm going to get on 2 seconds.
What do you think that is within someone like a Jordan or someone who's just at the top of their game? Because Jordan had his own demons. He had traumas. Sure. He had challenges. He had conflicts. He had legal stuff.
I think the biggest thing about Jordan is that his parents instilled this competitive nature. The competitive nature that Michael Jordan had, they say he competes at everything. So that's where his timing is on. So what you focus on is what grows inside of you and what is on demand and what can be very quick. I remember when I was a child, my mom used to have us do like talent shows in the living room, speech shows, performance shows. And when we got in trouble, we had to go to court in the house and defend ourselves and speak articulately about why we did what we did and how. And that's what we do here at SOULutions the Network. We talk about how and why. So don't forget to tune in to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You're going to look down there and see that, hey, Lewis Howe's link to this rest of this interview for the spiritual expert, for the shadow work is right there. Go check it out. Make sure you watch it, like, share, and subscribe over there as well. And I just want you to be the greatest you can be, the best you can be, and slow down time because you're in your prime. Peace and blessings, man. This is always and will always be SOULutions the Network.